In the scientific world, the primary criticism of reincarnation is that it cannot happen because the material world is all that exists. In such a view, consciousness is only the result of a functional brain, and it ends when the brain dies. However, the study of near-death experiences and past life memories strongly suggests that not only consciousness, but also emotions and memories survive beyond death. From what we've seen, it's clear that the body of evidence from accumulated past life cases cannot be explained away by insisting that subjects have gained their knowledge from the course of normal events, from guesswork, or from exaggeration. There is, however, one more possible explanation. Could all these cases just be elaborate hoaxes? Frauds orchestrated either by the subject's family, or the investigators? Are all memories of past lives simply fake?
If you read Stevenson's cases, you think, okay, the only way that this could be completely normal is if either Stevenson was a fool and he wasn't paying attention to the clues that the kids were being put up to this or being fed this information, or that there was an intentional fraud by the family and that these people were sort of pulling it over on them. And I decided, well, the only way that I'll be able to judge those remaining possibilities are if I actually saw Stevenson at work.
Tom Schroeder travelled extensively with Dr. Stevenson in Lebanon and India in order to observe and analyse Stevenson's cases as he investigated them in the homes of the subjects, their relatives, and the families to which the subjects claimed to have belonged.
First, we went to Lebanon, and there are a lot of cases, remembered lives among the Druze in Lebanon. And so we visited a number of cases there in and around Beirut. And then a few months later, we went to India, and we were mostly in the north. We probably went down about as far as the middle of the country. But we were in some very remote areas, areas that, we hired a driver, and it would take 8 hours just to arrive at the interview, going on some very bad roads. We got stuck in the mud a number of times. We hit roadblocks where people who might have been officials or they might have been bandits were, basically shook us down for some money. We also encountered some hostile crowds who misunderstood our presence, and they saw the cameras and the tape recorders and the Western dress, and they figured, well, what's in it for them? And, or maybe they thought we were going to try to steal one of their children.
Dr. Stevenson had over 3,000 cases in his files at the time Tom Schroeder met him.
Both Stevenson and I were the first thing we were looking out for was obvious fraud or maybe some kind of insanity on the part of the families or the children, or wishful thinking or whatever. But what in case after case, what really struck me was these were nice, normal, very reasonable people who were, in some cases, as sort of mystified by the fact that they had these memories, that their children had these memories as we were. After a while, you begin to think the odds of all those cases being explained away are almost less than the odds that there's some force at work in the universe that science doesn't quite understand yet.
The trip, Dr. Stevenson's obsessive search for truth, his methods, the tested geographical conditions, and the innocent children in the center of it all had a profound effect on Schroeder.
I really wasn't expecting the cases to be quite as compelling as they actually were in person, and I was expecting that maybe the subjects would seem a little nutty or, transparently, sort of in it for some ulterior motive. But it was right away. I mean, you could just see these were just people like like me, just sitting there, and they had this weird experience and didn't quite know what to make of it. And they were just people trying to figure out what this was all about, just like I was. Very normal, very sane, very articulate. They weren't pushing it. They really didn't care whether we believed them or not. We were asking them to tell us the story, and they were telling us, and in some cases very reluctantly. So he was going about it like looking for ways to disprove that these things the children were saying had come from a previous life memory, and to show that they actually had come from normal sources. And only when those were all ruled out did he say, I think that what we have here is a case where of probable that it's a paranormal reason. And paranormal in the strict sense, meaning that it's a reason beyond anything that we currently scientifically understand.
Ian himself didn't claim that he had proved reincarnation, but he definitely amassed a tremendous and invaluable amount of information that demonstrates that reincarnation is the only explanation that thoroughly explains the over 2,000, 3,000 cases.
Reincarnation was a word that he didn't shy away from. But reincarnation, the term means different things to different people. And I think what we can say is that the cases, if you accept them, they do provide evidence that memories and emotions and even mental images can sometimes show up in a child that previously belonged to somebody else.
Past life memories research strongly suggests the possibility that something survives death. But what is it that survives? How can a person consciously or unconsciously talk about another person as himself? Where do these memories come from? Does our consciousness hold these memories? How and where does this consciousness come from? To unravel this mystery of life, death, and reincarnation, let's explore the phenomenon of consciousness.